Okay then, in this video we will discuss identity and access management in AWS. Okay, first of all, let's answer the question, what is identity and access management in AWS? Well, as name suggests, it's a web service by AWS which allows you to securely control access to AWS resources, alright? And these resources can be AWS EC2, S3, DynamoDB, etc., etc., alright? So now again, why do we need this identity and access management? So I will give you one example. So when you create an account in AWS, like we did in previous videos, so you will be provided an account which has complete access to all AWS services, all right? And that account is called root account. And AWS doesn't recommend using that root account for everyday tasks, like for administrative tasks. Why? Because root account has unrestricted access to all AWS resources, right? And it's not possible to restrict the permissions that are granted to the root account, all right? So that's why instead what you can do is you can create just another user for yourself and give that user administrative permissions, all right? Then you can use that user for your tasks. That will be much safer option. You want to use AWS, all right? So now also this identity and access management is free to use, so they don't charge you if you use this service. So now let's consider some of the topics that some of the concepts that we will cover in the next videos, all right? So but they are concepts relating to identity and access management. So the first concept that we will cover in the next videos, and by the way, I will give you hands-on labs on those concepts as well, because in that way it will be easier for you to understand and also to remember. All right. So the first thing that we will cover is user. So with in identity and access management, you can create users. All right. So users are the ones who use your AWS resources, all right? So we will talk about this one. Then groups. So again, with identity and access management, you can create groups, and the groups are collection of users, all right? So then roles, you can create roles in identity and access management, and roles are very similar to users, and we will discuss these role in detail. So then policy. So policies, again, you can create policies, and policies define permissions for your AWS resources, all right? In other words, you can create policies and you can assign them to users, to groups, and to roles, all right? So, and the next concept we will discuss would be multi-factor authentication. And if it's just multi-factor authentication is just another layer of security, all right? So, and if you enable this multi-factor authentication, this gives extra security to your users, all right? So then identity federation, and this one is really good because let me explain this one with an example. So let's say you have an organization and your organization has a corporate user directory. So like Microsoft Active Directory. In simple terms, this Microsoft Active Directory is like a directory which holds your user, so your information relating to your users, right? So and using this identity federation, you can integrate that Microsoft Active Directory into your infrastructure, right? That means your users, I mean the users in Microsoft Active Directory, can get access to AWS resources even if they don't have user accounts directly in your AWS infrastructure, right? So it's just integration, all right? So then we will also discuss these API keys. This is also really important. Then we will also talk about IAM best practices, all right? Which is really good to follow, all right? So these are the concepts that we will cover in the next videos, and I will show you also hands-on labs on these concepts. So that's it for this video, and I will see you in the next one.